You see me?
Hello, how's everyone?
Doing great.
Good.
Good. Okay, the way we're going to start this is I want everyone who has ever been hurt by someone else to please stand up. And I want everyone who has ever hurt someone to please stand up. So that's everybody. So this is who Celebrate Recovery is for. It's not a program only for drug addicts, it's for everyone. I've been a member of this program for the last 3 years due to my drug and alcohol addiction. As a recovering addict, I know what Celebrate Recovery can do for a person who is struggling with their sobriety. Today I'm going to discuss the benefits of having a Christian-based 12-step program in every community. Where did the program come from? Who is it for? How can this program benefit every community? I can only give examples of my own, but I'm going to show you what a difference Celebrate Recovery can make in everyone's lives. Like I said, Celebrate Recovery is not just for drug addicts. It's for everyone. Mark 2, verse 17 says, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners." This program works with a set of eight recovery principles. That's what we go by in order to better our lives and to stay in our recovery. The first recovery principle is realize that I'm not God. I admit that I am powerless to control my tendency to do the wrong thing and that my life is unmanageable. The second one is earnestly believe that God exists, that I matter to Him, and that He has the power to help me recover. And I'm just going to put the first word of each recovery principle. Number 3, consciously choose to commit all my life and will to Christ's care and control. Four, openly examine and confess my faults to myself, to God, and to someone that I trust. 5, voluntarily submit to every change God wants to make in my life and humbly ask Him to remove my character defects. 6, evaluate all my relationships, offer forgiveness to those who have hurt me, and make amends for harm I have done to others, except when to do so would harm them or others. 7, reserve a daily time with God for self-examination, Bible reading, and prayer in order to know God and His will for my life and the power to follow His will. And 8, yield myself to God to be used to bring this good news to others, both by my example and by my words. So, does anyone see where I'm going with this acrostic? Every lesson that we have at Celebrate Recovery has an acrostic, and we use these as our lessons. So for this one, for the 8 principles, they spell out recovery. These 8 principles are based on the Beatitudes. This is what we follow as our guides. It's similar to the 12 steps of, say, NA or AA, only we use these with Jesus Christ as our higher power rather than just God as we understand Him, the way the AA and NA would use the steps. How we work is that every Celebrate Recovery is supposed to be the same way. So if you go into a meeting in Virginia or you go into a meeting in California, you're supposed to have the same exact feel, just different people. We're supposed to follow the same format, and you know what to expect when you walk into a meeting. We have a large group where we alternate weeks, and one week we'll have a testimony by someone who's been in recovery for at least over a year, and they have already worked through these 8 recovery principles. And then the opposite week, we have a lesson where we review some of these and we learn about them. We have a lot of people that go in and out. They just come in to get their court papers signed, and we just know that when they come in, we're planting that seed. So if there's ever any reason for them to wonder if someone cares or, to question whether God's there. They know that we're there for them and we're here to support them if they ever want to come back. And they always know that there's a meal available each week. The recovery statistic is not very, it's kind of gloomy. Only 1% of people that go through a treatment center actually make it and stay in recovery for the rest of their lives. Well, Celebrate Recovery helps make that more possible. We seem to have a higher success rate than a lot of other programs. In our group each week we have at least 2 members out of say 5 to 7 in our small group who have at least over a year of clean time. In our group it's all different people. Each week we have someone there that may be there for depression or anxiety or abuse or marital problems, family members of drug addicts that are hurting and don't know what to do. And of course, we're not just for drug addicts, but we are there as well. So this program helps everyone. It's just any kind of hurt, habit, or hang-up that you have, we are there to support you at Celebrate Recovery. This program was started in 1991 by John Baker. He's a member of Saddleback Church, which is where this was founded. That may sound familiar because it's the church where Rick Warren, the author of The Purpose-Driven Life, he's a pastor there, and the two work together to develop the curriculum that we use at Celebrate Recovery. Now in the United States there are over 5,000 meetings, and we also have Celebrate Recovery meetings in 12 different countries. There's also a program that Celebrate Recovery does called Celebrate Recovery Inside. And what it does is it takes trained leaders and they go inside of jails and prisons and they teach the incarcerated inmates that there is hope outside of jail, that they already know about AA and NA, but this teaches them that there's a Christ-centered recovery program as well. So if they don't want to just rely on a God of their own understanding and they want to call him Jesus Christ the way we do, that's what our program is. So this gives them hope that when they get out, that they know that they can come to a Celebrate Recovery and we will welcome them with open arms. My story, how I began with Celebrate Recovery, my mom was part of starting one 5 years ago, and she used to always try to get me to go while I lived in a different area at the time, and she always tried to get me to go, and I didn't want to. I thought it sounded like it was too long, and I just wasn't really into the religious part of a recovery meeting at that time. I didn't think it was for me. But at my last treatment center, she sent me the curriculum, some of the step books. And the first thing that I noticed when I opened that book was the Bible verse that goes with the first recovery principle. It was Romans 7, verse 18. It says, "I know that nothing good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out." This Bible verse really spoke to me because it made me feel like I wasn't the only one. I had all these great intentions when I was in my active addiction. I had great intentions, but I just could not follow through. And now I know that that was my sinful nature, that it wasn't me. It was just my sinful nature. So that Bible verse really spoke to me, and that's what caused me to continue on with those books and to look into it. So when I went home, I went to my first Celebrate Recovery meeting the second day I was home, and I've been going ever since. I'm now a leader in Celebrate Recovery, and it helps me to stay accountable to other people. If I'm not there, then they want to know where I am, and I'm also able to help other people because of my clean time now. It's a really trustworthy group, and everyone's there to support one another. We're not there to judge or fix each other, we're just there to help. I did an interview with a leader at Celebrate Recovery, and this is what she had to say about the impact of Celebrate Recovery in her community. Celebrate Recovery has made an impact in the community by offering a Christ-centered recovery program to not only addicts, but to everyone in the community with any hurt, habit, or hang-up that until 5 years ago was not available. As I mentioned earlier, please remember that Celebrate Recovery is not just a program for addicts and alcoholics. It's a program that can benefit each and every person in every community. Everyone has been hurt or has hurt another person throughout their lifetime. If everyone in the world would participate in a Christ-centered recovery program, there would be a lot less hurt in our world. As a recovering addict, I know firsthand how Celebrate Recovery can save lives. At the Faith-Based and Community Initiatives Conference in March 2004, George W. Bush said this of Celebrate Recovery: "Pastor John Baker and I shared something in common. We used to drink too much. Our hearts changed, then we quit. This is a tried and true formula. The problem is, government is not good at changing hearts, but people like John Baker have been. So I just want to encourage everyone to go out and check out a Celebrate Recovery in your area. I know what it can do for communities and for lives. It has touched so many people in my community, and I think that it's definitely worth everyone looking into. Thank you.